What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dragon Ninja channel. Um, I wanted to react to this for some time, for the past week or so. I think it's been out a few days, but it was on NBA's channel, the unwatchable truth about Dragon Ball. It was some things in there that I agree with, some things that I didn't necessarily agree with. So I wanted to give my 2 cents. I don't want to write whole paragraphs, and so since I have my own channel, my own platform, things like that, I thought, I just do a reaction where I voice my own little opinion, how I feel about it, and you know my points that I disagree with. Again, no haterade, no shade. The link to the original video will be in the description because again, go watch his channel. I'm not hating, not trying to say, oh, he's making stupid points and all that. No, it's not what I do. Go watch his channel. I'm gonna have the link to the original video in his channel. It'll take you to his channel. Subscribe to his channel. Watch his channel. You know, support the content. But just here to react, just like a lot of other reaction channels do. But I actually give commentary. I don't just sit around, and just watch the entire video. That's what they call stealing. But anyway, without further ado, we're going to be giving my 2 cents on how I feel about Dragon Ball, the OG Dragon Ball. He voices his opinion. I respect his opinion, but there are some things that I feel differently about. So we're going to get into it. Let's go.
Welcome to video number 2 in my new series, Dragon Ball Exposed. Today, we're going to be talking about OG Dragon Ball, the original, and just how unwatchable it is today. Now, you guys know I'm on record as saying that for a long time, I was a fan of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and I really don't like Dragon Ball Super, any of the new stuff that's come out. But to be honest with you, that's not true. I don't really like OG Dragon Ball either. I gotta be brutally honest.
Now, some areas of Dragon Ball are kind of lag and kind of dull, and kind of some episodes I can live without, but there are a lot of interesting things in there. Like when Tien Shinhan appeared, like Goku versus Master Roshi, aka Jackie Chan, in the tournament. A lot of different things. A lot of the tournament arcs. I like all the tournament arcs, to be honest with you. Some of the beginning parts of Dragon Ball when he met Bulma, and when he met Yamcha, when they were all together. Um, the whole Emperor Pilaf thing. There's a lot of things I liked about it. So uh, I could watch it. I could watch some aspects of it because for some reason, if a Dragon Ball episode's on, I find myself still watching it all the way through. So I can't say it's unwatchable. I would have to say it depends on what episode it is. Some episodes I would no, but there are a lot of episodes I can watch it. I can pretty much watch it, especially the tournaments. Goku versus Krillin. You know, a lot of the tournaments. A lot of them were pretty good. The tournament arcs. The first tournament arc. The second one, the one we fought. I think it was when was it? Who won the second arc? I think it's the one he fought Tien in. The third one it was when he fought Tien and lost to Muten Rose. Lost to Tien Shinhan, then the Piccolo. It led into Piccolo Daimao. So, there was a lot of tournament arcs in there that I enjoyed. Because I think Goku only won one of them because he lost to Master Roshi and then he lost to Tien Shinhan. So, yeah, they're pretty interesting. So I got even the red ribbon stuff. I like some of it. I can live without again, but the General Blue Mercenary Towel, I can't take that away from Dragon Ball. Toriyama did a fantastic job writing Mercenary Tao and General Blue, writing certain some of those characters. So I can't I can't say it's completely unwatchable, but yeah, you know.
I think maybe I liked it when I was watching it growing up because I liked most anime because it was different than the American cartoons that we were watching. But to be brutally honest, I I just got tired of it. I mean, I tried to go back and watch it recently, and it's just outdated comedy. I mean, bunch of shallow character crap. You know, they focus too much on Bulma, and they got all the little gags and the. I mean, even the fighting wasn't really that good. A lot of people like to say that OG Dragon Ball has some good fighting, and you know what? I think maybe to each his own. You know, um, and a lot of people complain about the outdated animation. Me personally, I don't.
And the fight, that's like I said, the fighting. I brought up some of the fights were but a lot of them were pretty good. Like I said, with T and Shinhan, um, like with when they were all teenagers. Like, oh yeah, the Baba Princess Bob, not Prince, but the Master Roshi's sister. That tournament, I like that tournament too. With the Devil Man, the Mummy, we had to fight his grandfather. That moment where I just realized Goku realized that he was fighting his grandfather. Um, yeah, they say you're not supposed to, you know, feel some type of way about when anime has those emotional moments, but the guy is, he was a kid and he lost his grandfather. He didn't know where he was. He didn't find out until Z that he actually was the one that killed his grandfather. But you know, the guy was a kid. He was, he missed his grandfather. So that kind of, you know how that is. Anything dealing with family, because I'm a father. I guess because I'm a father and I'm a family person. I when it comes down to parents and being united with their kids, or when parent kid moments and things like that, that kind of gets me. I guess because I'm a father, so when my son does things and has, I have proud moments and things like that. I have moments with my son where, I'm a sucker for families type stuff, because when you're a man, those type of things can kind of pull at your strings. But I guess that's the dad in me, because his grandfather raised him till he was unfortunate, met his untimely ending by the Ozaru. But that moment stuck out to me when he reunited with his grandfather. Uh, let's see. Like I said, a lot of the tournament fights were pretty darn good. Yamcha versus Tien, Tien versus Master Roshi. That was one of my favorite fights in the whole Dragon Ball series. Tien versus Master Roshi. Goku versus Demon King Piccolo. Goku versus Mercenary Tao the second time around. First time was an absolute manslaughter, but his training, when he had to go and get training and come back and beat him, that he had to earn that win. He lost, got his butt kicked, but he had to go back and earn it. He had to go back and train and come back and win again. Never beat General Blue, but let's see, he lost. General Blue actually lost to O'Reilly when they had the crossover with Dr. Slump and all that stuff. But even that, I enjoyed that. Um, enjoyed when he actually beat the Red Ribbon Army. A lot of that stuff was. I could say I enjoyed it, a lot of it. That's why I can go back and name it all, because I've seen the whole series. I watched it all probably more than once. I probably watched it an unhealthy amount of time, but I can't say I can get tired of it. For some reason, I don't get tired of Dragon Ball. A lot of other anime I watched, just like certain good anime I don't get tired of, like Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach. I didn't watch enough of it. One Piece, I could watch it. I just don't like Luffy's character. I just don't like him. His character's annoying. One Piece is pretty good. It's a good anime, but Luffy's character is just so annoying to me. I can't really get past it. He's just such an idiot. Reminds me of Goku from Super, and I just can't take another Dragon Ball Super Goku. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's a terrible character. But other than that, the other supporting characters are pretty decent. I can actually watch it. Outside of that, see Hunter x Hunter. It's pretty good to me. I enjoy it. I like watching it. I gotta go back and finish the rest of it. I watched most of it, but Full Metal Alchemist, Vast Stampede, like Trigun, Vast Stampede, Cowboy Bebop. You know, a lot of those Outlaw Star. Naming a lot of, there's a lot of Tenchi Muyo, Cyborg 009. It's a bunch of different ones that was pretty darn good. Sailor Moon was like a teenage thing. The only reason I watched that one because my sister liked it. And we only had one TV, so she liked that one because they had on Toonami they played Sailor Moon followed by Dragon Ball Z. So I had to watch it. But so I'm not just a Dragon Ball fanatic. I watched some of Naruto, Naruto Shippuden. Watched some of it. I just couldn't get just completely into it, but I did watch it. I know some of the characters. When you mention some of the characters, I can, I know who you're talking about. I know some of the moves they have because I watched enough of it to not just be completely lost when you're talking about Naruto. The Nine Tail, the Rasengan, all that kind of stuff. Like the Inuyasha, I can name several attacks. I know all Inuyasha's attacks. I watched a lot of different anime growing up, especially Fully Cooley is one of them. I think that's what it's called. It's a bunch of them. Some characters I can name in different animes, but I might not know the name of the anime. but I just watched a lot because I watched Adult Swim, and then I watched a lot of the Toonami stuff. So, Ninja Scroll, that was, yeah. So there's a few of them. They had a Devil May Cry anime. It's like I said, the list goes on. It's a bunch. What was that? The Big O. You had Gundam Wing and all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of them. It goes on. I can go on and on, but that's why I say I can't really just get tired of Dragon Ball. So to me, it has a lot of rewatch value. So I could say that. I can't say it's not rewatchable because I could watch it over and over, just especially some of those fights. But as far as just watching the whole series from front to back, I can understand where he's coming from because some of those episodes I can take or leave it. Yeah, I could just watch. I could watch moments. Excuse me. Even with Dragon Ball Z, I could watch a lot. There's a lot of good moments in there. Because they have the different clips on YouTube where you could watch the Namek Saga, the Saiyan Saga. It's broken down into they take it and make it into a 3-hour, 4-hour movie, and I could watch those. So it's one I never get tired of. I'm not saying I don't watch other anime because I've named several. Full Metal Alchemist is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites. Just Dragon Ball Z, it's like something I can never get tired. I could watch it over and over and over and over again and not get tired of it. Dragon Ball Super is the one that has no rewatch value to me. I think I'm rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho. I'm rewatching Bleach from the beginning because they had the Thousand Blood War arc, and I hadn't even watched the whole series yet, so I'm watching it from the beginning, trying to catch up. And because I watched it it was so long ago when I watched Bleach, since college. So, but anyway, we gotta get back on track here. I could talk about anime all day. It's just a bunch of different ones. Cause I watched them when Toonami was first coming out, so I've seen all of those. Yeah, especially you got your Pokemons and all that kind of stuff. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, the original Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, the original Yu-Gi-Oh. Not all the new crap that came after it. The original OG Yu-Gi-Oh, where the Pharaoh and all that stuff, when they was doing the dueling and all that. Yeah, I could. Though that one was pretty darn good. I could say that it had. I wanted to say it was bad, but when I watched it, I couldn't stop watching it. Had to keep up with every single episode. So, yeah, when you have my attention and I can't stop watching it, and I have to come back and tune into the next episode, and I'm at the edge of my seat trying to figure out what's going to happen next, you got me. It's pretty well written. Yu-Gi-Oh, the original Yu-Gi-Oh was pretty darn good. So there's another one, you know. So I've watched a lot of different ones, especially in U.S. I think I watched that series front to back multiple times. You sang with Yu Yu Hakusho, sang with no, oh, and one more, uh, the Roman Kenshin. That was yeah, Batosai the Manslayer. That was one of my favorite also. I thoroughly enjoyed Naromi. I think it was Naromi Kenshin. Yeah, Naromi Kenshin. Yeah, that was my favorite one. One of my favorite. Another one. So I could go on all day about, because somebody had asked me about different animes. They say Dragon Ball is it's nothing really else left to talk about in Dragon Ball. I kind of know. I just enjoy roasting. I enjoy roasting certain things like the fanboys and like the content creators that are trash. But I could talk about other animes because I've watched so many different ones. So, I don't just sit around watching Dragon Ball all the time because there's so many different ones to watch. Because Bleach it's a lot of them that are better than Dragon Ball. I even admit that. And I can admit they're better than Dragon Ball, even though I may not watch them, but I can admit that they're better. They're better written than Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? Naruto Shippuden anime is better written than Dragon Ball. Yu Yu Hakusho was way better written. Vash the Stampede, way better written. Cowboy Bebop, way better written than Dragon Ball. I'd even put Outlaw Star above Dragon Ball when it comes to writing and stuff. Z's pretty good, but I could, what I'm saying? There are animes I could tell you that are written better just by me watching them. Inuyasha was written better. It was written better. I can't. I mean, what I have to give it to him. Full Metal Alchemist. So anyway, let's get back. Let's get back where we were at.
Don't really care about that so much as the fact that it's just kind of boring. And I've never really been a fan of Kid Goku. And especially as I gotten older, I just don't like the ideal of it. Characters are supposed to grow, get older, get bigger. And so, when I went back and tried to watch it, honestly, it's just a relic. It's just an unwatchable relic. And
as far as Kid Goku, what messed up Kid Goku, it was the fact that they kept turning him back into a kid. And I always say this: the only way to turn Goku back into a kid is to like reboot Dragon Ball or have Dragon Ball based movies that take place back when Goku was still a kid. But as far as trying to take him and turn him into a kid in GT or in future Dragon Ball, he's under a spell and turn him into a kid, that's just stupid to me. That's just really dumb. That Dragon Ball Diamond ruined Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball GT ruined Dragon Ball. A lot of instances where they're trying to turn Goku and the Z Fighters back into kids, that in itself ruined Dragon Ball. Now, Dragon Ball Kid Goku being a kid in Dragon Ball doesn't ruin it for me. It might not ruin it for him either, but I can understand why Kid Goku is because you had all this future crap, all these future series that are supposed to take place after Dragon Ball, when Goku's either turned back into a kid from the Dragon Balls. Well, both times he was turned into a kid using the Dragon Balls. Well, first they started to say, Eobard and them, they try to say, oh, it was a spell. No, it was a freaking Dragon Balls, just like in GT. Oh, it's not like GT. It turned out to be just like GT. They used the Dragon Balls and made a wish and turned him into a kid. The same junk. So that's the only time I have a problem with Kid Goku. Is when they turn adult Goku back into a kid when he's supposed to be a freaking grown adult. Now, if there's a movie that takes place, or there's something that takes place back when Goku was still a kid, it wouldn't bother me because that's the time period in which he was a kid. He's supposed to be a child. So him being a kid in Dragon Ball, that didn't bother me much because his body was small, but he was actually kind of a teenager because he was 12. He was 12 in the first beginning. In the beginning of Dragon Ball, during the first tournament, he was 12. And then as time got older, he was 13, 14, 15. Like in the 10, when he fought 10, he was 15. It didn't seem like it because his body was small, but he was 15 years old. And then in the last tournament, he grew. He had a growth spurt. They said it in Daima. They said once you hit 18 or 16 or something like that, you hit a growth spurt. Like Gohan, when he turned 16 or something, he jumped up. He hit a growth spurt. So that happens when because Gohan probably stayed a child. He probably stayed like Teen Gohan until he hit 16, and then he just shot up. That's probably what happened because they say all Saiyans do that. But anyway, I didn't have a problem with Kid Goku until they turned adult Goku back into Kid Goku, trying to reminisce and go down memory lane and all that junk. That's the only time I had an issue with it. Other than that, I didn't have a problem. Now, I'm burnt out on Kid Goku for that very reason because of Daima, because of DT and all that other crap. They just wore it out. They just kept. It's just a trope, just like Frieza. They wore him out. You can overuse something, because I don't. But it still doesn't ruin Dragon Ball for me, because that's when he was supposed to be a kid. But everything else that came after Dragon Ball with him being a kid, that's what I can understand why that would make it all tired and burn out. I can understand why people get tired of that. I definitely understand that. I don't have a problem with Kid Goku in Dragon Ball, in the original Dragon Ball. I don't want to see him in any future crap. That's why I didn't watch Diamond like that. Oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta see it. No, it's stupid. And I was called a hater for not liking Diamond because they were kids. I'm like, why are y'all turning these people back into kids? Oh, you gotta watch it. I ain't gotta do jack. I ain't gotta like it. I ain't gotta do none of that stuff. It's just stupid. So I understand how it can ruin the original Dragon Ball for some people. Because the future crap can ruin previous stuff. Because now you look back on it and it reminds you of that garbage. Original Dragon Ball can kind of remind some people of Daima and all that other stuff. So I can understand. But I just, in my mind, I write them off as separate continuity. That's the only way I can live with the original now. I have to write off as separate continuity. Otherwise, I'd trash the whole thing.
There are a lot of people who sit around and based on nostalgia, they claim to love it. But a lot of the people that say they love it, they honestly haven't went back and watched it in a long time. And before I decided to make this video, I told myself I'm going to go back and try to watch OG Dragon Ball. And I have to be honest, man. It's a hard watch now that I'm older. Now that I'm not a kid anymore, it is a hard watch. It's just simply not very good. Now, is it some kind of legendary series? I don't know. I'll leave that up to the fans who love Toriyama or worship Toriyama or whatever. I don't really care. I just know what I saw. I didn't care for the gags. I didn't care for Master Roshi training Goku and Krillin. I didn't care for the voice acting. Honestly, the whole deal was just off-putting to me. It just didn't. It didn't matter. I mean, that's the best way of saying it. It honestly did not matter to me. But I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep watching.
Now, like I said, some episodes I could take or leave. Some of them I can, but I can't. Just like I mentioned in his comment, I can't. That whole the Piccolo Daimao arc, man. The stakes have never been higher. This is what I wanted to mention. The Piccolo Daimao arc really saved Dragon Ball for me. Because, dude, Piccolo Daimao, when he came on the scene, first thing, people were actually dying. Now people died in the Dragon Ball, but it wasn't the main cast that were dying off. Piccolo Daimao, dude, he killed Chaozu. He killed Master Roshi. Master Roshi died trying to seal him away. He killed Krillin. Tamarine, he sent Tamarine down. Tamarine killed Krillin. The first victim in the Piccolo Daimao arc was freaking Krillin. When Goku had a bad feeling after the tournament, he was eating and everything. He went to go. He's had a bad feeling, and Krillin was dead. Dead, not unconscious, not knocked out. No, Krillin was dead. That freaking. And that's why in Z, at the beginning of Z, why Goku didn't want Krillin to go with him. When I was watching Dragon Ball Z, I guess everybody has a different experience with Dragon Ball, because when I was watching Dragon Ball Z, it was a lot of crap that I didn't understand. I didn't know who Krillin was. Who the heck? I thought Krillin was Gohan's friend. I thought Krillin was a little kid or something. I didn't know when I was first watching Dragon Ball Z, because I got introduced to it, started really tuning in like in the Namek cycle. So I thought Gohan and Krillin were friends or something. But then when and a lot of stuff, and then when I went into the Android arc and all that kind of stuff, a lot of stuff was good, but there's some stuff there was some gaps in there. When they talking about Red Ribbon arc and all that stuff, and they had the flashbacks when Goku was a kid. Then when Dragon Ball aired on Toonami, I started watching it. Then it started filling in some gaps on how Goku actually met Krillin, on how he met Krillin. Watching Dragon Ball helped me better understand Dragon Ball Z. It helped me understand Goku's history with Krillin. Understand why he turned into a Super Saiyan when Frieza killed Krillin. Because he had already been killed when they was throughout Z, they were saying, okay, you already been wished back by the Dragon Ball. We can't have you dying again. Even Yamcha risked his life so Krillin wouldn't die again. When I watched Dragon Ball and saw Piccolo Daimao kill Krillin for the first time, that, my friends, that moments like that is what helped me understand certain things. It took me back to Z. Okay, this is why Goku got infuriated when Frieza killed Krillin. The first time in Dragon Ball, he was infuriated. He wanted to kill everything that he wanted. He wanted to go out to Tamarine, and he went out to King Piccolo. He was furious. You mess with Krillin, that was his best friend. Then in Z, he got to train the power against Frieza. Goku begged him, Frieza, to spare Krillin. Frieza blew him up. Super Saiyan. That helped me understand, because when I first saw Goku transform to a Super Saiyan, I didn't understand. I didn't get it, but it was Dragon Ball that helped me understand it. He saw Goku's history with Krillin, how they met on Master Roshi's Island, how they had to go through things. They went through stuff together. When stuff happened, when big things happened to the main cast in Z, why Goku and others, why they was getting all because I learned. They had all this history together, and how in the history with Piccolo, how Piccolo was a terrible bad guy, but then he had this character development. I thought he was always a good guy when I saw him on Namek when he first got wished back. When I watched Dragon Ball, I didn't know he was a bad guy. I know he was a freaking horrible bastard. I didn't know that. When I watched Dragon Ball, it showed me, yeah, he was a horrible person. That's why, and there were certain instances in Z when the seasons was waiting to be released the next year, they take it back to the Raditz arc, where they didn't trust Piccolo, and Piccolo was supposed to be this evil person. But when Dragon Ball revealed Demon King Piccolo, and then Piccolo Jr. in the next arc, I saw everything. I saw why he was a horrible bastard, and then he had character development with Gohan training in the. And I seen why he wanted to fight Goku, why he wanted revenge on Goku. It all started back during the Piccolo Daimao, the Android arc. That went back to the Red Ribbon Army arc. When you see the Red Ribbon Army arc, okay. Of course, Dr. Gero wasn't mentioned back then. He was retconned into the story, but you would see why Dr. Gero was part of that. Was part of that organization, why he would want revenge on Goku. So a lot of things I didn't understand when I watched Z without Dragon Ball. They say, oh, you could just watch Z. I don't know about that. A lot of things when I was watching Z, even when it went back to the Raditz arc, I used to watch it from the beginning of the Raditz arc all the way back up to where they were at. But it's still some gaps in there were missing. But when I watched Dragon Ball, it filled in a lot of gaps. So I can't. It helped, and then when I kept going back and watching Dragon Ball, it helped me understand more and more about the series. It just really opened my eyes to a lot of stuff that took place in Z. So that's why I say I can't. I don't know. That's what got me. There's certain moments in there that I have to. I could tune back into over and over, like the whole Piccolo. Even on YouTube, they have a Piccolo Daima arc as a movie. They have that whole arc as a movie. I think they may have the Piccolo Junior tournament thing, but they may have. I don't know because I know they have different ones as movies. But the Piccolo Daimao is one of them. And that's my Piccolo Daimao was my favorite. One of my favorite, my favorite villain in Dragon Ball, because he got stuff done, man. He came on the scene. He wished for eternal youth, and freaking killed Shenron, man. I mean, now you have no Dragon Ball, and people are steady dying. He's killing. He just come on the scene killing people. Man, I mean, he wasn't playing at all. So I mean, that was a turning point for me. That kind of saved Dragon Ball for me, because Goku actually went through a lot of crap in Dragon Ball. He almost died. He almost lost several times. He did lose several times. He had to come back stronger. Had to train and come back stronger. It's like you may say that Goku cheated and used the Ultra Divine Water in Dragon Ball. But Piccolo he used the Dragon Ball to become younger. He used the Dragon Ball. He made a wish to become younger. So Goku using the Divine Water really didn't take anything away from me, because Piccolo used the Dragon Balls to become younger, to become stronger. So I mean, I can't say, well, Goku cheated. No, Piccolo used the Dragon Ball. So I mean, which one's worse? So it's a lot of stuff in there.
For the sake of this video and for the sake of giving some coherent thoughts, I mean, I'll just take the Red Ribbon Army, for instance. Goku goes in, beats up a bunch of dudes, destroys the organization, leaves the most dangerous parts of the organization intact so that they can come back later and do all kinds of devastation. The comedic fights, like, I get it.
As far as the Red Ribbon arc, like I said, Dr. Gero wasn't mentioned in Dragon Ball. When you go back and watch Dragon Ball, Dr. Gero was not mentioned at all in Dragon Ball. You had General Black and all these general people. Was it General Red? What's the guy? The Commander. I forgot these people. Commander Black, Commander Red. The head people of the organization we thought they were killed off when Goku, the General Black, the guy with the iPad. I don't know if he was Commander Red. Somebody maybe comment in the comments who he is. The guy with the iPad, the short guy with the iPad, he wanted to make a wish to Dragon Ball to be taller. Um, General Black killed him, or Commander Black killed him, so he could he could use the wish for world domination or something like that. I don't know what he wanted to wish for, but it was something he didn't want to just wish to be taller. But Goku killed him. Goku killed Commander Black, and they were believed to be destroyed. No one heard about Dr. Gero until the Android arc, because Dr. Gero, trying to make sure. I don't want to lie. The whole time I watched Dragon Ball, I heard nothing about Dr. Gero. Even when I rewatched Dragon Ball, when I watched the series, I heard nothing about Dr. Gero. Nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. Nothing. So he destroyed the army, and Goku really wasn't just trying to. I think if Goku knew about Gero, he probably would have cared enough about him to kill him, because Goku was really just after the army because they had the Dragon Ball. Because he just wanted to wish. He wanted to make a wish. I'm trying to see what he wanted. He wanted to wish that Indian boy. I forgot his name. Wanted to wish him back to life. That's all he wanted. So he collected the Dragon Balls to wish his friend back. Cause I think it was Upa or something like that. His father. Because Mercenary Tyrant killed his father. And he used the Dragon Ball to wish his father back. It's the Indian guy. So that's why he wanted the Dragon Balls. Only thing Goku cared about then was the Dragon Balls, so he could make a wish to wish his friend's father back to life. Cause after Mercenary Tao killed him, so really, Tao was gone. General Blue was gone. Commander Red, Commander Black, all of them were gone. He killed Commander Black. He got the Dragon Ball, and so at the time, Mercenary Dr. Gero wasn't mentioned. As far as he concerned, the army was gone. He destroyed the whole Red Ribbon Army, but because the only thing left was Dr. Gero, and he wasn't mentioned in the series. So how would Goku know where to find him and all this other crap? Because I thought about that too. Like, why did he leave Dr. Gero alive? But no one knew about Dr. Gero until Trunks mentioned him in the Android arc. No one really knew about him until then, because he was retconned into the story.
That's part of the original Goku's character. But sometimes you got to get serious when you're throwing down. And a lot of these fights.
In Dragon Ball, Goku was very serious too. That's the part I liked about Goku's character back in Dragon Ball. He didn't mind getting serious, because especially during when he found out Krillin was killed by Demi King Piccolo, Tamarine. He was trying to take him out. He wasn't playing, well, I'll give you a chance to train and fight, make it. No, he was taking people down. He was killing those children. Piccolo's children he created, he was killing them. Goku killed people in Dragon Ball. He killed the Red Ribbon people. He slaughtered them. He wouldn't attack the army head on, because especially he knew they were responsible, and they were going around killing people, and he didn't have a problem going around killing them. Goku in Dragon Ball didn't play no games. I don't know what they did with him in Z, why he was so merciful in Z. Even Kame sometimes was like, Goku, yeah, you should be killing. But I know why he spared Piccolo. Because if he was to kill Piccolo, then Kame would also disappear, because they're one and the same. And Goku knew that, and he the one told Kami that if I kill Piccolo, then y'all are the same person. So if I kill him, it'll kill you too, and there won't be no Dragon Balls. Goku knew that, even though Kami didn't know it. So, Goku had some reasons. He had reasons why he spared people in Dragon Ball. It wasn't just for no reason. So I can't kill him because it'll kill you too, type of thing. In Z, he was just, like, let's say Goku from Dragon Ball, if he fought Ginyu, the mindset Goku had in Dragon Ball, he'd have killed Ginyu. There would have been nobody. Goku wouldn't have wasted time. He would off Ginyu right then. Especially when he found out that once he saw that they almost killed his son. When they killed Krillin, they killed Master Roshi and all that. Goku was not trying to spare Demon King Piccolo. He was trying to kill him. And as soon as he had the opportunity, he did kill him. So, because he didn't, that's before he knew Piccolo and Kami were connected. Because so I like that Goku. Even in when they try to reminisce and create Dragon Ball GT, that Goku was killing people. He didn't want just going around sparing folks. He was killing people. So, I like that Goku way better. And the Goku in the movies, he will kill you. So, I don't know what they did with him in Z.
It's just comedy stuff. And I'm not into that. I've never been into that. And I think maybe that had a lot to do with why I had a hard time watching it, because I just did not like the comedy act. It just didn't sit well with me. Like I said, maybe when I was younger, it probably did. And
I think Toriyama, that's his way of writing. I don't necessarily agree with it either. That's like modern Dragon Ball is mostly comedy and all that stuff. I don't necessarily agree with it because like I said, I told you the animes that I liked with Yu Yu Hakusho and all of them. I'm used to like blood and gore, and I want to see arms get chopped off. I want to see seriousness. People, fighting and dying and all that stuff. I even used to watch Attack on Titan. Good animes like that. People are dying when it's real serious. So on some of that I can agree because it's a lot of Dragon Ball Z was more serious. Even Dragon Ball got serious towards the end of the series when it came to Tien Shinhan. When it started getting real when Tien Shinhan showed up. Because he was coming in breaking people's legs and stuff like that. And then you had, like you said, up the ending with Demon King Piccolo, killing people off and blowing up the dragon so you can't wish them back. Stuff like that. That's why I liked Cowboy Bebop. Stuff with Devil May Cry, where it had actual blood and blood and gore and all of that. That's the kind of stuff I like in anime. So the humor stuff I can understand. I don't necessarily care for it all the time. I liked it in Z at times because it was done better in Z. The original run in Z, it was done a lot better. Because they had gags in different places where Goku would get hungry before a serious training session. I specific like when Goku was going into the time train with his son. He was like, he's finna get serious. Hold on just a second, son. Then he said, can we eat? Because certain things like that I can find funny. I understand. I find that stuff funny. But if it's just too much of it, back to all the time, like they try to do in Super, like they try to do in Diamond, all that kind of stuff. It's too much is too much. But Z, it was spread out, pretty decent. So I was able to live with it.
I'm not saying that this is not a legendary series for some people, because I'm pretty sure some of the comments I'm gonna get are, "This is a legendary Toriyama." Yes, I get it. I get it. You guys have to come in and you have to suck off Toriyama every chance you get. But I want you guys to go back and watch it now, like I did. Go back and watch it and see if you remember it the way you used to. Because I promise you, I don't remember it being this bad when I was younger. I just don't. But now it's kind of bad. Um, is it as bad as Super or
Now, when they mentioned when they mentioned the animation, now the earlier episodes of Dragon Ball, I can understand where they're coming from when it comes to animation being kind of outdated and stuff. I can understand that because that I could say it is off-putting. Um, and the fighting scene with little bitty Goku fighting people way bigger than him, that kind of now that kind of it's not enough to make me not want to watch it. Period. But I can understand it didn't age well. I put it like that. As compared to other animes, like now, it just didn't age well. Now Goku was the actual. I could say. I put it like this. I think if Goku was the actual size of a teenager, you know how Future Trunks was in the movie when he was 14, things like that, 13, 14, whatever old he wasn't like pint sized like a little midget, like a little. I think because in when Goku was 12 years old, he was the size of a kindergartner, like a size of a first grader. He was 12 years old. Now that part I could say is kind of awkward. Like he was, if he was the size of like Future Trunks, if he was like a teenager, because Yamcha and all them and Bulma and all them, they were teenagers, and it showed that they were teenagers. They weren't like little pint-sized kids. That's the kind of thing that did kind of throw me off a little bit. Now, if Goku had been a little taller, a little bigger, and the animation was little, different, I'd say I could rewatch it 1,000 times. But the fact that it was just, before everything just got, before the animation got way better in Z and things like that. Um, you know, but I say in the first earlier episodes of Dragon Ball, it was kind of, eh, So, but when Goku's, if let's say if Goku was like Future Trunks' height, and like the size of a 14-year-old, not adult full body, but older, tall enough to be like a teenager. I could have gotten used to it. I could have watched it a lot more. It's just his pint-sized body fighting these big people. That kind of, I just didn't. And then Goku being pint-sized, I just didn't care for it too much. Him being so small when he's a kid. I could live without that. I don't know. I just can. I could just live without it. Other than that, I mean, everything else was cool. It was straight to me.
Daima? No. I don't think anything can be as bad as those.
Nope.
But I do think that we overrated it. And let's just be real. Most of us Dragon Ball people only really care about Z. I'm just going to keep it real from now on. From now on, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not going to pretend as if I like Dragon Ball, the OG Dragon Ball. Because after going back and watching it, I realized that I just don't. I like Dragon Ball Z except for the Great Saiyaman stuff. I just wasn't a fan of that. I think it was really
And I actually love the Great Saiyaman stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know, like I said, if I was going on, I'd practice the same way because I'm kind of a nerd. I'm just not a loser nerd. I'm a nerd that has a business and I'm a nerd that gets up, goes to work, and knows how to get my hands dirty, do construction, and runs a business. But I'm still a nerd though. So if I had powers like that, I'd probably be a superhero dweeb. But I still take care of business. So I could be a nerd and pay all my bills and have my own house, have my own car, and like he says, house, car, crib, have all those things, have a business. So job, I got a business. So, nerd, but I still take care of business. So I think, I've earned that. I could sit around and play Super Mario Brothers all day if I wanted to, as long as all my bills are paid and my businesses are running like they're supposed to. I could play Super Mario Brothers. I could have a Wii and play Sonic Adventures or some crap, stuff I'm into anyway. So it doesn't matter because I can still take care of business. Yeah, but anyway, yeah,
Um, GT, the only good thing about it was Super Saiyan 4.
right.
Dragon Ball Super, the only character that I liked was Hit. The only
That's the only interesting character. Everybody else sucked balls. Um, I can't. I'm trying to think of any other character that may have been interesting in Super, and I can't. Beerus, had they done more with Beerus, I'd have been interested in him. But they reduced him to a babysitter. They reduced him to comic relief, and I hated that. If you're gonna introduce a character as a god of destruction, why just ruin his character? Turn around and just destroy the character. I just didn't like that. I didn't understand that.
arc that had a chance was the Goku Black arc, and they even ruined that.
They surely did.
Kai is terrible.
They turned Dragon Ball Z. They turned Goku Black arc into it was abysmal. They ruined by them making Zamasu Goku Black. That was terrible. That was a terrible way to go. Here's my idea of Goku Black. I said it before, and I'll say it again. You got all these universes, right? Why don't you have an evil Goku in an alternate universe? People see it. People think Goten. It should have been Goten. I don't think it should have been Goten. I just don't believe it. It may be a good idea. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Not me. It should have been Goku from another universe. One of those universe. Why don't you have Goku from Universe 6? Why wasn't Goku the reason that Universe 6 Earth was destroyed in the first place? You see what I'm saying? See how creative that is? He could have it's twin universes, 6 and 7 are twin universes. That Goku could have went rogue. He's strong enough because the Saiyans in Universe 6 are way stronger, right? Why don't you use a Goku? Well, let's say you had a Goku in Universe 6 that went rogue. He destroyed all life on Universe 6 because they could have had it. Here's the thing. Zamasu, Earth, some my allergies are messing up. Earth was destroyed in Universe 6, right? It's all messed up and crap. Due to war or something like that. It was mystery. It's all messed up. Why couldn't Goku Black be the reason why that Earth was messed up? Evil Goku from Universe 6. And since Goku went around, Zamasu was looking for places, different recruits and stuff. Let's say he could have asked all he needed to know about Goku. Okay, and then Zuno told him about this. Here's this other Goku that's really a dick. He's really evil. He's going around destroying Universe 6. And he finds him, and they get to talking. They meet up. He's talking about, okay, I got a Zero Mortals plan. I can make you a god if you help me out in this plan. Anything like that, you could just throw them into the story. There's one of the ways to do it. I'm not saying that that has to be the way, but I'm saying you could have used a Goku from another universe. There's so many. If you're gonna open up a bag, saying, okay, we have 12 universes, we have four. It used to be these amount of universes, but now you, why not utilize the universe? Why go into time traveling and all that other garbage when you can use the universe thing? He's from an alternate. He's from one of those universes. There's another Goku over there. I found him over here. I didn't wish for another. I wouldn't wish for an evil Goku copy. I found this Goku over in the other universe. You know, that kind of thing. It was just wasted potential. I was the one that destroyed Universe 6's Earth. You know, and I came back and all my work was undone. You know, anything. Um, I'm just throwing ideas out there. He could have been the one, and after Beerus wished it back, it could have been reintroduced in the Goku Black arc. I destroyed that Earth. That's why Universe First 6 Earth was all messed up because of me. I'm the one that destroyed it. You know, NT thing, because I was sent to, or it could have been a version of Goku that was still Kakarot. You know, that destroyed everybody on this planet. An alternate timeline where Goku never bumped his head, but he was super strong. He was in his base form, but he was that strong. Zamasu gave him a time ring and stuff like that to do his bidding. Zamasu didn't have the strength, but he knew this Goku did. So he made a deal with him. Anything, there's a lot of different ideas you could use. I'm just saying. I think it should have just been an evil alternate Goku. I don't know. But anyway, we're not talking about Super. We're supposed to be talking about Dragon Ball. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know why I'm going off in a tangent.
Daima, terrible.
Yeah. Daima was pure garbage.
And Daima, honestly, is just a reminder of how bad OG Dragon Ball was.
I don't know. Daima may have ruined Dragon Ball, but it didn't remind me of how bad Dragon Ball was. I could say Dragon Ball was okay. The tournament arcs, the Piccolo Daima arc, Red Ribbon arc, it's okay. But Daima is way beneath Dragon Ball. It's them trying to reminisce and go back to Dragon Ball, just like GT did. They try to reminisce and go back, and somehow made it worse. It's still worse. Daima was way worse than the original.
To me, I mean, it just kind of a throwback to how terrible it was. Now that we're all these years in the future, and you go back and look at it, you're just like, damn, what did I even see in this? What the hell was it that made me watch this?
Now, again, I understand that sentiment when you think something is good in your time, and then years later, you're watching something, then you go back. Like, wait a minute, this is really bad. Why did I watch this? Now, I don't feel that way when I watch Dragon Ball, but I understand where he's coming from when you watch something and you hadn't seen it in a while, and then you go back and watch it. There's a lot of stuff I saw in the 90s, a lot of commercials we used to watch, a lot of shows I watched back then. Then you go back and watch it like, oh my God, really? I like this? So I get it when it comes to that. Dragon Ball is not that for me, but I do get it. I understand what he's saying, because I've had shows like that where I felt that way about. Had movies like that I felt that way about. Like those old movies, then I watch them now, they're like, this is crap. Why did I even like this? It didn't age well. So, in a sense, Dragon Ball didn't age well. That's what it says. So I understand that. And but there's some stuff that doesn't Dragon Ball doesn't do that for me, but some stuff there are some shows that did do it for me, so I understand.
And like I said, before you get mad in the comments, before you start going off, I want you to go watch it again, and then before you comment, tell me if I'm saying something that's wrong. Because I think, like I said earlier, I think a lot of you haven't seen it in years, a lot of years. Like people like me, I mean, I don't think I've watched it again till recently. I hadn't watched it in like 20 or 30 years.
I used to I kept up with it. I watched it pretty regular. That's probably why I guess I can't say the same thing because I watched clips of it. Uh, I've even watched it when I saw it on different TV. It was on. It was certain. It was a website that had all the Dragon Ball episodes and Dragon Ball Z episodes. So I've watched it all the way up to 2000. I guess 2018. Probably even after that, when I found websites that had episodes of Dragon Ball on it. So I can't say, you know, I can't say I hadn't watched it in years. But when you haven't watched something in years and you go back and watch it, I can understand that. So that's probably why he feels that way about it, because he hadn't watched it in over 20, 30 years. But because I've been watching it, watched it on Toonami, watched it in college. I've been on the websites watching it. I've been watching Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, even after years after the series had ended. I was still watching Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Still watching it, still watching, still watch. I never stopped watching it. So there's no change on my end. So I can't just say, it's, oh, he has no reason to feel this way. No, when you haven't watched something in a while, let's say you haven't watched it in 20 years, and then you come back to it, that's understandable. I can understand. Okay, no, this is not it, because you hadn't watched it in a while. Then you've seen all kind of other anime that were way better than that, and then you go back to this. You're like, no, it's not gonna work. It's not working. So I get that. I get that part. I really do. So that wouldn't really work or apply to me because I've been watching it. I've probably seen some Dragon Ball clips the other day. So I never really just stopped watching. So I just can't say that. People are trying to call me when I do start. They want to call when you do start recording and stuff. Anyway.
So maybe it's because of the amount of time I spent not watching it. Now I know some of you.
Yep. That's why. Because I've had animes like like I said, I had shows like that I hadn't watched in a while that now are kind of cringe, especially on Nickelodeon and stuff like that. But like I said, I've never stopped watching, so that's why I can't say that.
You newer fans may have watched it more recently than that, but
I have.
then again, a lot of y'all started with Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Kai. That was like a lot of y'all were introduced to Dragon Ball with those series. So a lot of y'all skipped Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. And I know this by the lack of knowledge in the community. You guys get a lot of stuff wrong. But like, as I said, go back and look at it. Tell me what you think, if it's as good as it used to be or as good as you remember. And then drop me some comments. Let me know. Now, I don't want people who follow me to just come in here and say, yeah, you know what, I agree with you. No, I want you to actually go watch it, think about your comments, and then drop them. Because, I could be wrong. Or I could just be criticizing it for no reason. I don't know. That's why I'm making the video. Anyways.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I left a comment. Link on this is going to be in the description. It's going to be in the description. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and copy the link right now, because it's going to be in the description. Make sure you go support the original source, original video, original material. But it's my take on it. Dragon Ball I can't say it's unwatchable because a lot of things in there I actually enjoyed, uh, especially from the first arc. There's something in every arc that I enjoyed about Dragon Ball, so I can't just throw it away. And especially when Z was running on Toonami, Dragon Ball was running. The original Dragon Ball was running right alongside it because you had Dragon Ball and then you had Dragon Ball Z running right alongside it, right alongside each other. So I couldn't. Matter of fact, no, I think Dragon Ball. Some cases Dragon Ball came right after Z. But anyway, they were running together. So I think when the Buu arc was running, you had the Tien Shinhan and you had Piccolo Daimao right next to it. So it kind of, and then Piccolo Daimao, Piccolo Jr. So it really, I started gaining interest in both. So I can't say, and then I kept watching it after Z. I've even watched it recently, so I never really just stopped watching. So I didn't have anything to go back to because I always been watching it. So I understand from that viewpoint why he felt that way. I can understand it, but I don't feel the same. But that doesn't make his opinion even any less valid. But like I say, let me know what you think in the comments. How you feel about Dragon Ball? Is that still a series that you like? Or is it something? Do you agree with NBA? Do you agree with things I'm saying? Uh, just how you feel. You don't even have to agree with me. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I don't. You know. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with anybody. But just let me know what you think in the comments because engagement is key anyway. As long as we're engaging and feedback, that's how channels grow. That's how things grow. But Dragon Ninja signing out.